Caller, you're on the line with Hit the Ropes Radio.
Hey, how you doing, guys? It's Max.
Hey, Max, how you doing?
Not bad, not bad. How about yourselves?
Oh,
all right.
Can't complain. Well, for our listeners out there, as we kind of alluded to at the beginning of the show, our first guest is Max Bauer. He is the current, and I'll make sure I'm getting this right, current New England Championship Wrestling Triple Crown champion. Is that right?
It's a mouthful, but yes, that's right.
All right. Well, Max, give the listeners who may not be familiar with you a little bit of info about your background and how you got into the wrestling business.
Sure thing. I started 2003 at the Chaotic Training Center. It was at the time run by a guy named Mike Hollow, who was a student of Killer Kowalski's. About a year and a half into my training, Killer Kowalski's school in Malden actually shut down, so we started coming up on the weekends. So pretty much the first, I'd say, 4 to 5 years I spent in that building, just 4 or 5 days a week, whatever it took to get in there and just learn this, whatever this business is, learn how to do it as best I can. And ever since then, it's just all about meeting new people and making contacts and trying to get out there as much as possible. All
right. So you're currently holding a title in New England Championship Wrestling, but you do wrestle for some other promotions. Is that right, or where have you wrestled in the past?
Where have I wrestled? Like I said, I started with Chaotic Wrestling. It's a pretty well-known New England company. So I wrestled there, obviously with Sheldon Goldberg and NECW. I wrestled out with 2CW up in upstate New York. As far as Jim Kettner, another one down in Delaware. He's obviously, everyone knows Jim. He's been around forever with the ECWA. A bunch of littler places. I could give you the ABC of wrestling and, this company and that company, but a lot of different places. I try and get out there as much as possible. I'm always accepting bookings. I try and keep my schedule as full as possible. Actually, just recently, NWA on Fire up in Maine with the Savoldis. I just started doing them, got a few more dates with them, and they got Bob Backlund with their company now. I guess he helps to run it, so it's nice to work with somebody, obviously with such good experience.
Right. Now, NECW, they just signed a local TV deal. Is that correct?
That is true. They actually signed probably one of the bigger TV deals for an independent wrestling company, of course. It's not USA every Monday night at 9, but it's a Comcast Sportsnet is the name of the channel. It's where all the Celtics games are played for anyone in New England, which any sports fan is going to know this channel anyway. It's basically the competition for Fox Sportsnet. So it's a big channel. It reaches, I think, 4.5 million homes locally and 38 million homes nationwide. So, for as far as it is for an independent company, it's a very, very, very big step and a very good step for, trying to get your name out there and your company out there, obviously, in their case.
Right. Have they told you what time slot you're getting stuck in? Is it like a 1 a.m. slot?
No. It's not a 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. slot. People actually will be awake for this one. It's January 8th of next year. It's a whole year-long slot. It's every Friday, 4 to 5 p.m.
Okay, so that's very similar to what TNA got when they got on Fox.
Exactly, and it's actually it's almost exactly the same type of a station where it's a regional upstart of a sports broadcast. So, it has legitimacy as is, and from all I've heard and all the people I've talked to who know Comcast in the area and I've talked to them, they're very, very excited. They're very behind the idea of having a wrestling program, and, I know that the guys at NECW do a great job with their production. They get all their promos done and all the vignettes and all that good stuff, and they have good guys to edit and so on and so forth. Since they have a big, company like Comcast backing them up and, helping them out any way they can, I think that they could actually put on a solid product, especially at least locally. You know what I mean?
Right. Definitely. And 4.5 million homes for an independent wrestling promotion, and I know you guys, NECW has a big following in the New England area, but that is huge for you guys to have that many viewers with access who can check out the action that you guys bring.
Right. No, I mean it's only 4.5 locally. The numbers I was told was 4.5 locally, 38 million homes nationwide. Which, I mean, not to say we're going to be in more homes than Ring of Honor, but supposedly from what I've heard, this station reaches more homes than that does. So,
right.
I mean, we obviously don't have the exposure of the Ring of Honor, of course, but it's great. The deal they got. I mean, I will give them all the credit in the world. They busted their asses for it. I'll tell you what.
Now, you guys, NECW just had their their birthday bash, number 9, Raging the Cage, last week, right?
It was this past Saturday. Yep.
Right, and you took on Alex Arion.
Alex Arion.
He's your biggest nemesis right now, correct?
Well, he was. I just kicked his ass on Saturday, so I'm not anymore.
Well, so who's the next person that's trying to come into your path that you're going to easily dismantle?
Well, I don't know about easily. Well, first and foremost, I mean, Alex, me and him have been kind of going back and forth for at least a year now in NECW, and say what you want, he is one of the best, if not the best, I've ever been in the ring with. That guy, I mean, he's been around for years and years, and he knows his craft. He's trained with, he started out with Al Snow, and then he, more locally known is a guy named Steve Bradley. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him, the Mofo Steve Bradley, who's been around forever and was with WWE for a number of years in their developmental program. I mean, if you Google the name Steve Bradley, you'll find some good stuff. But he was like his best friend and trained with him, so Alex was absolutely amazing. I can't say enough about him. As far as a next opponent goes, I mean, I know that on the 19th they have a show coming up, and I'll be wrestling Antonio Thomas, formerly of WWE, the Heartthrobs.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
He's a regular with them out in this area, so I had promised him a title shot before this big event, so I'm trying to do my best and make good on my promise and be a good guy, so I'll kick his ass and dismantle him, as you guys said.
Now, Max, your character or your gimmick, are you a heel or are you a face?
I'm usually a face nowadays. People tend to take a liking to the ass beatings I give out, and I tend to beat up the right people. So, I don't. I'm no Ricky Steamboat, but at the same time, I go out there with a plan in mind, and I try to execute and entertain, and people seem to be liking it. So.
Okay. Now, obviously you've been doing this, you said, since 2003. Who were some of the people that you admired, as a fan of wrestling, or what inspired you, or who inspired you to become a professional wrestler?
Who inspired me to start? Well, when I started watching wrestling when I was 5 years old, which, I mean, I'm sure you guys have done a lot of interviews, and that's pretty much the thing that everyone says. But it's true. I was 5 years old. I watched WWE, or WWF at the time, but I was always the biggest fan of The Undertaker. He was the guy for me. I don't know what it was. I just loved him. Throughout the years, that pretty much stayed the same because he was always with them, so I always loved him as a kid growing up. When I finally started to kind of appreciate the art of wrestling and the storytelling and the actual the working aspect of it, I'd say the biggest inspiration for me has always been Arn Anderson after that. I mean, that is a guy who, A, is severely underrated. Nowadays, he's kind of getting a little more credit, which I think he deserves. I mean, he, as a heel, as a tag team wrestler, he's, in my opinion, he's unmatched. He's just absolute top-tier entertainer, can sell, can put anyone over. He's just phenomenal.
And I wouldn't disagree with you. Go ahead, Shane.
I was just about to ask him. So what are your goals? What are what do you plan to do with your career? You're a heavyweight champion on an uprising promotion. Do you see yourself fitting in more with ROH, TNA,